Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for December 2022. This will be your last reading of 2022, right? And they are late, just a few days, but I got a new camera. It's still giving me some issues. I've had some tech issues. There's a learning curve, the whole bit. Also, because this is a general reading, the messages may not resonate with you. So go back and look at your moon and rising sign. And on the off chance that maybe your moon and or rising sign would be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, if you go back and view those readings, you're going to see I pulled two oracle cards. One card was called the Archetype card. However, my guides did not like working with those cards during those readings, so I stopped. Those are the only 4 readings that have that particular card, so you won't see that card here, okay? Finally, if you want to glean more information on your own personal situation, that requires a personal reading. I use your birth date and your sun sign and pick you out of the collective and shuffle the cards, and I do it that way. It's completely different from the way I do the cards here in the general readings. These are free readings, right? And so you can go over to my About box section. There I have listed the reading packages that I have. They list the times, how many minutes, how many questions, and then the price. And if you're interested in getting a reading, you can simply contact me by my email address that you see up there in the black box on the right-hand side of the screen, top right screen. And then you just say, hey, Tara, I want to get a 30-minute reading, and then we'll go from there, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. I have already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph, Libra. I hope all of you have had a very, very good Turkey Day. We are moving. I cannot believe we are moving into 2023 in just a few weeks. We are also looking forward to, we have a full moon on December 7th. And we also will be looking forward to Jupiter moving into Aries on December 20th. So I'm not sure if there's a Mercury retrograde near the end. I think we're going to have another Mercury retrograde right around, it's around New Year's Eve. That's right. So if you're traveling, be forewarned. All right. So I'm going to do a bit more shuffling and another rifle, and we're going to lay the cards, okay? All righty then. Been some really interesting readings thus far. So, but I say that about all the readings, right? Okay, here we go. 9 cards down. The Devil. He's been coming out a lot. And I'm not sure if it's Saturn is about to make moves or is making moves. If it has to do with Pluto and Capricorn, I'm not sure about that either. So let's just pull the rest. Oh, well, there's the Sun. Always a good thing, the Sun. There's the, well, now it makes sense. The 9 of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands. The Justice card. The 5 of Cups. What the hell's going on, Libra? Started out pretty good, and then, wow, 5 of Cups. It's not all bad. The Knight of Cups. Oh, well. The 2 of Swords. And the 7 of Pentacles. I have no repeater numbers here. 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. 2 Pentacles. 2 Cups. A Sword. And a Wand. Past, present, future. Past, present, future. Interplay of the cards. What is over the entire reading? It is the King of Cups. Well, now. So the King of Cups would be a water sign individual. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. If not that, he can sometimes be the important man in your life. But he can also, as a profession, he could be like a lawyer or a counselor, somebody that you can confide in. Might even be an artist for that artist temperament. Okay. But right in the center, I have the Justice card. And the Justice card speaks of karmic justice. And it says that no matter how the situation turns out, justice has been served. Even if you feel like it's the short end of the stick, what that means is that the situation is now over and you can move on. Okay? Although I see here that perhaps some of you are not sure what to do down at the bottom. Now, when I first laid this first row of cards, once I put the 9 of Pentacles down, and I said, well, that makes sense to me. The Devil is not always a negative card. The Devil speaks about hard work. He speaks about commitment. He speaks about the earthly plane. So this could be the idea that you've been rolling up your sleeves and working really, really hard. You've gained a measure of success, maybe some visibility. You find yourself in a pretty good position here. In a pretty good, financially. You've been able to, in effect, kind of tame those wild desires. That's what the little hooded hawk there says. And just keep your nose to the grindstone and get your work done. Great. Fantastic. But then, once I laid the rest of the cards, the story began to change. So here, I think some of you, there's a new sexual relationship or the possibility of a new sexual relationship in your life. Okay? Here, the Devil and the Ace of Wands. If that's the case, the person is younger. He's way younger than this King of Cups over here. All right? That's another thing. This individual would be between the ages of, I'm going to say 20 to perhaps 30, maybe 40 at the most. But this is also a message, as you guys know, and it's also an event. And it is an event because the Knight comes to move a situation along, but it's presaged by some kind of news or message coming in, some information that comes in to move the situation along. The thing about the Knight of Cups, however, is that it's a fickle energy. As you can see, his horse is stopped in mid-stride. He hasn't crossed that water yet, those emotions. So this can be somebody who makes you feel really good. Maybe the sex is great, but there's no commitment there. All right? There's nothing solid that you can actually wrap your hands around or really have a feel for lack of a better term. Now, the Five of Cups is a card of tears, regrets, and sorrows. It is also a card of crying over your past, looking at the past instead of turning around to see what's in front of you in the future. I call that the Two of Cups in disguise. But the card also says that all is not lost. Maybe you're feeling sorry for yourself about something, and I can't quite determine why this would be. But it is this Two of Swords here, along with the Seven of Pentacles. Because the Two of Swords talks about a choice. The Sun is also this idea of illumination. Okay? And it is, believe it or not, in the tarot, each one of these cards are a yes. Even the Devil is a yes card. Okay? It just may be yes, but not in the way you think it is. Okay? But this card is also about illumination and about the masculine principle. Again, some type of announcement or new start. It represents growth, abundance, fertility, illumination. It is the masculine principle. It is simply the yes card. All right? But the 2, it is the number 2. And 2s always bring choice. It says there's a choice here or decision that needs to be made. Now, remember I was talking about some kind of message comes across? Sometimes the Two of Swords can be unsettling communication, some kind of unexpected news that you got, something that you heard that doesn't quite sit right with you. It speaks about if there's been an argument or a fight, maybe you can reconcile with that particular person. But it talks about making a decision. And in this case, because it's a Swords card, this says that you think that you don't have enough information to make a decision, so you choose to do nothing. Well, doing nothing is a decision to do something, right? But finally, the card talks about trusting whatever your intuition is telling you. It is about stilling the mind and trusting what your intuition is telling you. And then we come to the Seven of Pentacles, the moment of pause. This is a moment of change, the fives are. This is a moment of, again, pause and reflection before moving on. But here with the seven says, the Seven of Pentacles is about waiting for the harvest to come in. Waiting to see the rewards of all of your hard work or whatever you've invested in. So the coins are not just about finances. It is really your resources. How do you invest your time, your energy, your emotions, your thoughts? What are you doing? How are you actively doing those things? Where are you investing your time and your energy and your emotions? So the Pentacles can be lots of things, okay? But I also feel that there is something else that hasn't quite taken shape yet. Why? Because that pentacle on the ground. Can I fit it in? Do I have enough room? So this is a moment about looking over what has come before deciding to pick up that seventh pentacle. I have seen the Nine of Pentacles show up when it talks about contemplating a house move. Somebody moving, changing location. Okay? Here with the snail. There's a new home in the background. I don't know if you can see it there. But also, there's a house here. And I can't say that these two rivers meet each other with these two cards. Can't say that. So I'm not exactly sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this card over. Oh, not that card. I'm going to turn this card over. And what does that leave me? It leaves me the Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, the Five of Cups, and these two cards as they relate to the three major arcana. The reason why I turn this over is because traditionally it represents a person or just news and messages, and it doesn't tell me anything else. Whatever the message is, it has an emotional quality to it, or it evokes in you some kind of emotional response. Okay? One which perhaps you maybe even withdraw. Let me see here. Let's start out with the Nine of Pentacles. And I always love to see the Nine of Pentacles because it's really just a great card. There are no tens here. It tells of one who has material security and who feels settled up or set up in their life. It implies that there has been a great deal of growth and achievement at this time, and you are to be commended for your efforts. So that's what I was saying. Once I laid this card down, it's like, man, you know, you've been kicking butt and taking names. That's great. It suggests that the hard work will pay off and you will be recognized and rewarded handsomely. If you have recently heard of an inheritance due, it could well turn out to be of greater value than first thought. It tells you that you may receive financial gains or rewards, and these will bring you pleasure. However, the real pleasure will come from knowing that you alone are responsible for your own success. And so sometimes that's what he represents, the ability to roll up your sleeves and just get in there and do the hard work, no matter how hard it is. Okay? But that's the Nine of Pentacles, and it doesn't tell me anything next to these three cards. Let's move back to the Ace of Wands. And there's one other thing I'm going to check. The Ace of Wands. Here it is. It indicates that an important relationship needs to be analyzed and looked into deeply, as resentments and hurt feelings are lurking below the surface and need to be dealt with now. There's something not quite right that's going on here. Okay? But that's the Ace of Wands with the Devil. Now, Five of Cups. That makes sense. There's something else I'm going to check too. The Five of Cups with the Devil is an indication that you must take the time to contemplate all options and avenues before stepping forward. Quiet contemplation is needed to achieve focus. Not to do so will waste your energies. It infers that time must be spent in contemplation because energies are being wasted. This is the Five of Cups with the Devil. This also calls for the idea of using your logic, looking at all the facts and circumstances and being rational when coming to your decision. It's not about sentimentality, okay? And sometimes you have to make decisions that way. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Two of Swords. Sometimes you just have to do it that way. Two of Swords. Here, there's a meaning with the Sun. It's telling you to keep faith and hope alive as changes are happening behind the scenes that will see you back in action in quick time. It is a sign that your life is about to become very busy and active, as choices will be made that usher in fresh energies and enthusiasm. So even though there's this kind of stillness and calmness about this Seven of Pentacles, the fact that that pentacle at your foot, I said, you know, there's something else that you're going to either you want to do, you will do, or you will need to do. Okay? I don't know how that's going to play out for you guys. I need y'all to go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Thank you. Go sit down. And finally, the Seven of Pentacles. First, the card asks that you be patient. But it also says a sudden change or option may present itself when the Seven of Pentacles appears in the spread. There are important decisions to be made, and clear communication is needed in order to come to the right conclusion or decision. It asks that you not be overly anxious if a delay or postponement takes place in regards to some kind of financial negotiation. Maybe it's a legal issue. It implies that you have some organizing and planning to do before making your next move. There is room for a great deal of growth at this time, so you must be patient in order for your desires to come to fruition. It represents a change or changes in direction. It is a card which indicates material securities with options for a new course to take. Decisions to do with choices is apparent. It is important to weigh up all options, the choice being whether to remain in the position you are in currently or to step forward with the new. And indeed, we see the scales here. And what are scales? Scales are used to weigh up different substances to try to equalize them out, water and sand. Okay? I don't know what this King of Cups has to do with the situation. But I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to look at two cards. I'm going to look at this King of Cups. That's what I'm going to do. So he's over the entire reading. Okay? And it does not feel like this is you, Libra. It's a definite masculine energy. You guys hear me say all the time that even as females, we can embody the masculine energy and males can embody the feminine energies. But this feels like a masculine energy. So same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male. Okay? Or identifies with the male role. The amalato, the sick person. The sacerdote. Again, the counselor or someone you can confide in or trust in. But typically he has to do with all things related to the law. and the deliranti, the delirious people. Now, also this sacerdote is pointing in two different directions. He's pointing behind him. This is where the trouble may be coming from, or this is what the problem may be. The ammalato, this is places and people and situations that can make one ill. So the focus is on, it's like the Four of Swords. It's the focus is on wellness and healing and taking care of yourself. But he's also pointing at the dilettanti with this finger. This is where future problems could lie. And this is with groups of people who have ideas that are the ideas are mutually exclusive. They don't fit in. So this could be listening to people who have completely different views. It can be an egoist, somebody who can't see the forest for the trees. 9 times out of 10, this person has the ability to lead you down the wrong path or down the wrong road. Okay, because they themselves are all bent out of shape. I've even seen that card to sometimes be an indication where maybe, someone's drinking and doing drugs. Okay, here we see the King of Cups, and we know that sometimes that card can represent someone who may have some type of addiction. So, along with this card, okay, and that card. So the cups can represent lots of different things. So let's look at this 5 now of cups, and then we're going to take a look quickly at this 2 of swords to see if there's any additional information here. Here is the 5 of cups, the Donna Maritata, the Consolante Sorpresa, and the Lamante female. Well, now I don't know if this is, it's 2 different women. One would be an earth sign, one would be a water sign. Huh, that's interesting. The Donna Maritata is, it says respect for a married woman, but the person doesn't have to be married and they don't have to have children. They would be simply someone who's practical and down to earth, who's nurturing and kind and good. Okay, the Consolante Sorpresa says that there will be an offer put to you that you're going to have to accept, okay, quickly, and that whatever the results are, they're gonna be positive, and they're gonna come as if they are fished out of water, not something that you went looking for. Okay, and then here we have the Lamante, who, if she's not another female, then she represents someone who doesn't speak a lot about their emotions. Okay, yes, that's how she's coming, and this is what they say is the correct thing. All right, looking at her lover's hanky, she's studying it, she's looking at it, but she's not very demonstrative in her emotions. So sometimes that card can represent anxiety and even a bit of sadness. All right, she's sitting all out by herself in the middle of the woods staring at a handkerchief. Okay, so 2 of swords, turn that card back over so you can get the full picture there. The Vedovo, the Malinconia, and the Disgrazia. So something happens. Either some news comes through and something happens, because this card can be this idea of a lack of support, of someone suddenly taking their support away from you. Okay, they don't know how to love. They just kind of rip the rug out from under you and remove their support from you. The dark cloud, the melancholia, the sadness, the melancholy over something that meant a whole lot to you. See the cross there? This is not the death of a person. This can be implied to be a pet, but something that was very dear and important to your heart. And then we have the tragedy card. Okay, and the tragedy card implies just that, tragedy. It could be, I've seen it show up and everywhere from public humiliation, where somebody humiliates you in public, to literally things being on fire. Let me find my little book here. What do I do with it? And I'm going to read to you the love interpretations of these, because it has an underpinning of some type of romantic thing. You know, I don't know what it is, and I can't put a word to it, but I'm sure if you recognize this situation. Hold on. Let's go back to the... Where is he? There he is. The widower. In love, it heralds separation, arguments, incompatibility, rancor, resentment towards other people, a relationship devoid of true love, and growing apart. In financial matters, it indicates a financial collapse or the unsuccessful ending of a project that meant a lot to you. This usually entails making life-changing decisions and breaking away from something or someone. It indicates estrangement. Metaphorically, it indicates estrangement, deprivation, absence, a lack of some kind, and moving away from a situation or person. It says that you will be left out in the cold and no one will be there to help you. You will feel utterly alone and helpless, as if someone has pulled the rug out from underneath your feet. Someone that you used to rely on for support will no longer be there anymore. They will withdraw their help. Metaphorically, it indicates a void or loss of some kind. Then we come to the Malinconia. And she states, a passing disappointment, a black cloud of sadness. It indicates momentary defeat and a lack of success. It can describe someone who was once happy, and now that something has changed, they live in a state of guilt, sadness, and nostalgia, pining for what they once had. Same card. Often the card will describe someone who did not know how happy they were until they lost their source of happiness. It also indicates an attachment to the past or living in the past. Haunting memories, nostalgia, regret, and tears over something specific, and a period of dejection that will ultimately pass. This represents situations from the past of this person that is still affecting you, and these are the future events. Okay, so let me get back over here. It is not associated with the Tower card of the actual tarot. The card speaks about great turbulence, the arrival of a traumatic event. Metaphorically or superficially, the card wants to say that, philosophically, it speaks about the approach to right and wrong. And what it usually wants to convey is that usually, but not always, what will happen you did not deserve. Okay? But it can also imply that you have failed to learn from past mistakes, or even that a mistake from the past will come back to exact payment in the future. So remember, I was talking to you about karmic justice. In personal relationships, the card heralds a painful and sudden separation, sometimes violence. In financial matters, it can herald a sudden and unexpected dismissal, repossession, foreclosures, embezzlement, bankruptcies, and problems with the tax man. Now, there are only 2 cards that can mitigate this, and none of them have come out. And remember when I said sometimes he can represent the law, he could be like the tax man, but that's not really how that feels to me. It indicates someone who, I just want to say, has something to hide. They're hiding something, and I can't quite get to the bottom of what it is. So, formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus, and let's see if he has any advice for you on this. You know, I want to say 2 years. something has either been happening for 2 years or going on for 2 years. But the 2 years comes across quite strongly. All right, here's your card. Oh, it is the fish. This card it just came out again. This is the 3rd time in a row that's come out. So, that's funny. The fish say, I should know by heart by now, once you have let gossip fly, these tales you can never again belie. Silence will bring counsel and will not expose you to the attacks of others. Stop often and think. Stand still and reflect quietly. It will lead to the discovery of the right path to be taken. Okay, so that is what I have for you, Libra. There's something else about this card. Hold on, before I shut down. There's something else that I need to tell you, and it's right at the surface of my brain, but I can't pull it up. Let me look through it right quick. Maybe it wasn't that card. Maybe it's the sacerdote. Let's see here. Where is he? I mean, it could be worse. The Il Nemico and the La Nemica could be out, but let's see. Right. He's connected to justice, the legal system, the local authority, insurance, the state, and the law. He could, near negative cards, indicate trouble with the law or the establishment. This can sometimes be riots, people being in large groups, and there's danger in the groups. Okay? Divine justice administered. The underlying issue. And he's shielding himself from this on the right. The card on the back is the underlying issue. And these are the root of the problem. This doesn't always apply in every case, but that's a possibility. So that is what I have for you, Libra, for December 2022. I won't see you guys again until the camera does that. If I move it too fast, it will, let's see. It's all blurry, but whatever. I won't see you guys until 2023. So until then, be well, stay safe. Namaste. Bye. I don't know why it won't focus. It won't focus. Okay, bye.